Hey, it's Jeremy from OpticHouse.com. So in my last video, I asked if anybody had questions or comments for me, and comic book veteran Peter Palmiotti chimed in with a good question. You can find his artwork at peterpalmiotti.deviantart.com, and he also has a great podcast called The Independent Road that you can find on iTunes. And I'll put a link to his DeviantArt page in the About section of this video. Anyway, Peter asked, do I feel that I've grown as an artist-writer since my first comic? And in what ways? Well, that very easy answer is yes. I very definitely feel like I have grown. In what ways, I would say that my sense of proportion has definitely grown. My sense of anatomy and composition has grown. I have a better sense of light and dark on the page. And the interesting thing is that even though I can tell that there are significant improvements, not just since my first graphic novel, but as far back, I think my first published work was a small press comic I did back in high school. I was working with a small studio, and I go back and look at some of that stuff now, and like with most illustrators, when you go back and look at something that's many, many years old, it's almost unbearable to look at. I can definitely say that all of those things that I mentioned, the composition, storytelling, anatomy, I've made a lot of improvements. That said, they say that the more you learn, the more ignorant you realize you are. So even though I have grown, I am light years away from where I would like to be. As I continue to learn more about draftsmanship, I get a better idea of what good, solid, consistent draftsmanship is and what great, solid, consistent draftsmanship is. And those are still beyond my reach. I'm not embarrassed of the work that I do right now, but I have a much clearer idea of what is capable. Not just what's capable within comics, but what's capable within myself. And I know that I have not reached anywhere near what I would like to be able to do and communicate in comparison to just what the average, when I say average, I don't think there's anything average about doing a monthly comic book. From all the creators I've spoken to, it's incredibly brutal to do a mainstream comic book on a monthly schedule. And the amount of skill you need to pull off that quality of work at such a pace, I'm not at that point yet, I don't think. So I still feel like I have a lot of work to put in, but I do feel like I'm better. The challenge on the arts, on the writing side, is that I'm doing more difficult things. I'm writing with more characters. I'm trying to work with subtext more and have characters who aren't just saying what they're thinking, but trying to actually have emotional moments where the characters are conveying things through the narrative they aren't necessarily saying, or maybe saying things that are misleading but have deeper meanings within, on lower levels, on lower layers, deeper layers. Now, that's not to say that I am as successful at that as I'd like to, because I also feel like I'm definitely struggling with trying to do those things. Just because I'm aware that I'm trying to push further with writing doesn't mean I'm necessarily achieving it. But that awareness alone, that there's more than what you're capable of, is the first step in any growth. So I do feel like that unto itself is valuable. Anyway, if you got any more questions or comments, my email is jeremy@optichouse.com, Gerimi @optichouse.com, or leave a comment for me. Check out my website, just a bunch of cool comics, graphic novels, artwork. That's it for now. Go be creative.